He looks like he time-traveled from a stone age and fights like it too. A black belt before 24, ADCC champion, and now he's crushing skulls in the cage. This is not just a fighter. This is a modern-day berserker named Neanderthor. Before he became a terror in the cage, Vosgröne Vosgröne was just a teenager in Dusseldorf obsessed with playing UFC Undisputed 3 on his console. The way fighters grappled, transitioned, and submitted each other fascinated him, not just as entertainment, but as an art form. In his own words, it just looked cool, and that was enough to get him off the couch and onto the mats. He started training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at 16, diving headfirst into grappling with the same intensity he once reserved for video games. His natural talent, hunger to learn, and wrestling background quickly set him apart. Vosgröne moved to London, sharpening his skills under Dickie Martin at Carlson Gracie London and training wrestling with Lyubomir Kumbarov, one of the UK's top grappling minds. Over the years, he became a force in the European BJJ and no-GI scene, competing at over 90 kilograms and developing a brutal pressure-heavy style. He favored half-guard sweeps, deep half setups, and smothering top control, techniques that perfectly fit his growing frame and relentless mindset. At just 23 years old, he earned his black belt, a symbol of the hours, injuries, and wars he'd endured on the mats. From digital submission artist to real-world grappling assassin, Vosgröne's journey proves that sometimes greatness can start with a controller and end with gold medals and chokes in real combat. Frederick Neanderthor Vosgröne didn't just switch to MMA, he invaded it like a warlord. Already feared across Europe's grappling scene, he carried his arsenal of submissions and wrestling dominance straight into the cage, and no one's made it out the same. His professional debut came on May 30th, 2021, at Levels Fight League 1. While most newcomers feel the pressure, Vosgröne looked like a man on a mission. His opponent, Erhan Okiroglu, didn't stand chance. From the opening bell, Vosgröne controlled the pace, dragged the fight to the ground, and slowly dismantled his foe before sinking in a textbook arm triangle choke in round 2. Despite earning a clear win, he was his own harshest critic. Wasn't that great, he said. But everyone watching saw the writing on the wall. This was just the beginning. Then came a long silence. 3.5 years without a fight. No hype, no headlines, but behind the scenes, Vosgröne was sharpening his tools. In October 2024, he returned at We Love MMA, and the beast had leveled up. In just 16 seconds, he snatched Christian Fischer's leg and twisted it into a brutal heel hook, shocking the crowd and announcing his comeback in terrifying fashion. But one scalp wasn't enough. If you're loving this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe to MMA Thread. We drop deep dive profiles on the fighters you should know, but don't yet. In December 2024, he stepped into the cage again at We Love MMA 76, this time facing Nikola Jovic. What happened? Another heel hook finish, this one in 1 minute and 45 seconds. It was as if Vosgröne had unlocked a cheat code in real life, dragged them down, attacked the legs, and the fight. Clinical, ruthless, and fast. Still not satisfied, he took the momentum to Octagon 69 in April 2025, where he faced Jurek Montaniak. This time, the chaos lasted until round 2, but the outcome was familiar. Another arm triangle, another dominant win, and a crowd on their feet, chanting his name. The fight went viral online, not just for the submission, but for the Neanderthor moment where Vosgröne grabbed his opponent's leg with a primal intensity that made the crowd erupt. Right now, Vosgröne is 4-0, with all wins coming by submission, each showcasing a different piece of his grappling mastery. Heel hooks, arm triangles, positional dominance. Doesn't just win, he smothers, traps, and finishes. And the best part? He's just getting started. Frederick Vosgröne isn't just another fighter with a ground game. He's a walking fortress of grappling knowledge, forged through a decade of relentless training, international competition, and raw obsession. Before he was submitting pro fighters in seconds, Vosgröne was a black belt killer in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a wrestling powerhouse, and a terror on the no-GI circuit. The journey began in 2012, when a 16-year-old kid from Dusseldorf, Germany, stumbled onto the UFC video game and got hooked by the idea of fighting on the ground. It looked cool, he said, cool enough to turn into a life mission. He stepped onto the mats, fell in love with grappling, and never looked back. But Vosgröne wasn't just playing around. He trained like a madman, drilling half-guard sweeps, single-leg takedowns, and pressure-passing techniques that made life miserable for his opponents. His body, already massive for his age, became a weapon. Competing over 90 kilograms, Vosgröne combined the brutal force of wrestling with the surgical precision of BJJ. To sharpen his tools even more, he made the bold decision to relocate to London, where he trained at Carlson Gracie London under the respected Dickie Martin. At just 23, Vosgröne earned his black belt, a milestone that most grapplers take over a decade to achieve. That wasn't all. He trained wrestling under the legendary Lyubomir Kombarov, a Bulgarian grappling savant known as one of the most technically gifted wrestlers in Europe. Vosgröne says Kombarov is the hardest person I've ever sparred, a telling statement from a man who now breaks limbs professionally. The result? A monster on the mats. By 2020, Vosgröne had already stacked a list of accolades that would make any seasoned black belt jealous. Third place medal, third place at No GI Worlds, black belt. First place medal, ADCC Trials champion. Moneybag Polaris Grand Prix winner, £10,000 prize. And that's just a sample. Whether it's arm triangles, leg locks, or smothering top pressure, Vosgröne's grappling is built on more than a decade of elite-level training, and it shows. He doesn't just apply technique, he crushes you with it. And then there's the nickname, Neanderthor, a fusion of Neanderthal strength and Thor power. It's not an insult, it's a warning. The long hair, the primal energy, the thunderous ground game. He looks like he was carved from stone and raised in battle. He doesn't just fight, he hunts. It's this mythical presence, this aura of ancient brutality, combined with his modern technical excellence, that makes Vosgröne one of the most feared grapplers in European MMA. Frederick Vosgröne isn't here to talk. He's here to dominate. If you want more raw, no BS stories from the world of MMA, fighters like this that the mainstream's missing, subscribe to MMA Thread. We're just getting started.